And so as I was saying, let's just regroup because we just wanted to get off to a good start. So again, no one really talks about the discovery program. So can you kind of really just walk us through and please give us the baby steps and tell us about yourself? I'm very proud of you for doing this. I'm really honored to say that I knew you since the third grade. And I kind of predicted you'd get into Stuyvesant. I am the soothsayer. Because I
Yeah.
did. I told your mom, I told her this in Spanish. I do speak Spanish fluently. Some of you don't know that, but I told your mother years ago, she was helping me at Kweller Prep. And I said to your mom, I said to her very clearly, I said, if you send him to Kweller from third grade, he's going to get into Stuyvesant. And I actually predicted this. So I know that sounds like a lot, but I
Yeah.
realize that my voice has power. So I did
Yeah.
predict this, but all joking aside, you earned your seat. You worked very hard. We're excited to learn about your journey, which you truly earned because you put in a lot of work, and both of your parents, which you'll speak about, are not native English speakers. You really had a long road to Stuyvesant. So we're excited to learn about discovery. Jonathan,
Yeah.
thank you
Okay.
for putting together this entire slide show by yourself. I had
Yeah.
zero input. Quite frankly, I've been super busy with Kweller and responsibilities. And my daughter's 8th birthday was this past day. So I actually had zero contribution to the slideshow. So I really just want to say thank you so much for doing
Yeah, of
this.
course.
And tell us about yourself, starting with your age. We should definitely know how young you are running a webinar that is
Okay,
going to go on
so
YouTube and it's going to help the greater good. Okay, I'm
okay.
going on mute. Go ahead.
So as of right now, I just turned 14 not too long ago, and I'm now in Stuyvesant. I'm a
So
freshman in
you're
Stuyvesant.
13 years old and
Yeah.
you just turned 14. When was your
Yes.
birthday?
November 12th around there. Yeah,
So
November
everyone
12th.
get ready. One day you might be 13 running a webinar at Kweller Prep.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that, everyone. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so first and foremost, I'd like to start off with what the Discovery Program actually is. And the Discovery Program offers admission to disadvantaged students who score below the cutoff score on specialized the SHSAT. The Discovery Program applies to all 8 specialized high schools across the city. And the Discovery Program is throughout the summer following the child's 8th grade school year entering high school. The program is around a month on average, and in this webinar, I will show you the process of the Discovery Program. So I broke down the process into exactly 4 steps. First being the actual test that you take around fall of the child's 8th grade year. Then the acceptance letters that came out not too recently, actually, during second week of March, I'm pretty sure. And then submitting the application in order to get into the program. And then fourth, and attending the program. So the test, for those who do not know, the test is administered in the fall of the student's 8th grade year. Registration opens around October, and for the students who are there, do not do your best on the test and do not settle down for the Discovery Program if you can do better, because the Discovery Program is for the disadvantage, of course, and you should also strive to get into the actual school. Without the Discovery Program, it's always better, and you get to spend your summer. You can relax or you can study, but at the end of the day, the Discovery Program isn't something you should aim for. However, it is there for those who are disadvantaged and for those who do not get it immediately. On the actual test, there's 57 reading questions and 57 math questions. Students are given 3 hours to complete both sections. And to the students who are planning on taking the test, who have taken the test, good luck. So now the second part, the acceptance letter. Once you or your child have taken the
So let
test,
me let me
yeah.
just take one step back because I just want to give my Kweller input as well. We're specifically talking about the SHSAT right now. So
Yeah.
can you just explain to them like what SHSAT stands for and which schools? I just want to do one step back.
So the SHSAT, hold on, I don't know if I can go back. Oh, sorry. Uh, is it okay? Sorry. Okay. The SHSAT stands for the Specialized High Schools Admissions Test, and these get you into 8 schools around 8 specialized high schools around the city. Most notably, Stuyvesant High School, Bronx Science, Brooklyn Tech are the main three, I'd say. Of course, there's other schools such as Staten Island Tech, but the most notable ones are, of course, the main ones, Stuyvesant, Bronx Science, and Brooklyn Tech, as I previously stated. Uh,
So very specifically, the slide that says the test, you're talking specifically about SHSAT.
yes,
Usually the test is 3 hours. Some kids have an IEP, some kids have a 504. They get time and a half or they get extra time. So if you have a test accommodation, generally this exam is 3 hours. So basically you took SHSAT with everyone else.
yes.
So that's step one. So step one is everyone's taking SHSAT. So now let's keep going.
Okay, so now the acceptance letter. Once you have taken the test, you have to wait until March of that school year for your high school acceptance letter. You will get, if you do get into Discovery, you will get the summer Discovery program application, which is in the high school acceptance letters and like general high school acceptance. To get the application, you have to score just below the cutoff score, and as previously stated, you have to be disadvantaged, quote unquote.
So you got a letter in March. So you took the test, just like if I had to do, and if you could just add notes, if I had to do a timeline, right?
Yeah,
Of exactly. So you took the test a year ago,
yeah,
October, November, December, was it?
November. November, like late November.
So everyone pay attention. So can you just write it into the chat or can you type in the chat? So November
Yeah,
2023, you took SHSAT. So you took it with
yeah.
everyone else. Like your whole class took it or you went to a testing site?
So at my school, how they did it, you have to, of course, apply to take it. And once you did, they've all put us in one room and we all took it there.
Got it. So you went and you took the test again. What month did you take the SHSAT?
Late November.
Okay, so you took it around Thanksgiving time, November
Yeah.
2023. Then you got an acceptance offer from, like, everyone else got the offer, right? So you got the offer plus everyone got accepted, rejected. So on the same day, everyone's getting offers. This year it was March 7. So basically you went into the My Schools portal and you got an offer, right?
Yes.
So at that time, was it offer? Was it no offer? Like, what was it at that
So at that
moment?
time, for me, I got really scared because it said I did not get into Stuyvesant. And the the summer discovery program application is really hidden. When I first got my acceptance my the acceptance letter, I got scared because I thought it was just done for and I was not gonna get into Stuyvesant. And that all that hard work went for nothing. But however, thanks to Kweller, she brought to my attention that there is the discovery program that you can get into, and thankfully I got into, and there is four uh uh criteria, I guess you can call it, that you need to meet at least one in order to get into, and which is you receive assistance from the Human Resources Administration, welfare and SNAP benefits. Your child is in foster care, ward of the state, and is a student in a temporary housing. Or your child is an English language learner or a former English language learner within the past 2 school years and enrolled into a DOE school, and or your family earns less than the reduced price lunch income threshold and the USDA Food and Nutrition Service income eligibility guidelines.
So let's say it's like English language learner. I'm just giving like an
Yeah.
example. So was the actual letter on March 7th this year, does the letter say you're rejected or it says you're accepted? What does the actual letter
The
say
actual
at
letter
that
for
point?
me at least said that you are denied and you not get in.
So the actual letter, so everyone pay attention to this because only Kweller is really going to break it down. Like no one else besides Kweller Prep is going to run a webinar on this. I give you my word. There's nothing out there on this. So the actual letter is saying, Jonathan Flores, you're denied, right? You actually have a
Yes.
copy of the letter. I mean, we're going to, let's make a little note of things we're going to add to the next time we do this webinar.
Yeah.
So your actual letter is a denial. So everyone's following along, right? So you
Yes.
get a letter saying no. And then in itty bitty little letters on the bottom somewhere, it says you are eligible for discovery.
Yes. It doesn't
So
even show like under like where it usually says like what program you got into. It does not say anything, but Uh, it's really at the end of the acceptance letter. It says it gives you it gives you this. It gives you the summer discovery program application. It doesn't show anywhere else. It's just at the very bottom. It's like they're trying to hide it, I'd say.
And this is through, again, your family. I'm assuming it's English language learner, right? Like your
Yeah.
family never received an actual acceptance offer, for example, March 7 or whenever it was. So now you got, I just want to slowly follow the steps. So now you got a letter in my schools. It says eligible for discovery. And we can add that. Next time we do it, we're going to add it in. So let's just make a
Okay.
note, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to add in that old email, which I happen to have. So you have no idea what discovery is,
Yes.
right? And I messaged your mom. I said that basically means he got into Stuyvesant. And then my recommendation was, quite frankly, don't tell anyone. He's going to have to go all summer because we're going to cross our fingers. This, program actually works the way it's intended to. He's going to go all summer. So what was the next step? You got something saying you're eligible for discovery. And it's like
Yes.
in very small letters. What was the very next step
From there, you have to submit the application, and the
for
DOE
discovery?
yes, for discovery. And the DOE requires that you submit the application through the middle school guidance counselor, your middle schooler's guidance counselor. You notify your guidance counselor at your child's middle school that you want to submit the application. They have to sign off on it, and the application is in. The following month, around late April, I'd say, you will receive your acceptance letter into the discovery program.
So now you're basically accepted into Stuyvesant. So the discovery said Stuyvesant. Did you put Stuyvesant as your first choice back when you applied?
Yes, Stuyvesant was in fact my first choice.
Good. I remember being very bossy and dictating
Yeah.
these decisions for you, which I'm very good at doing. Thank you for listening. And today you're at Stuyvesant. If only everyone would listen to me. With that being said, here you are. Stuyvesant was your first choice. Your actual cutoff score was under the cutoff, right?
Yes.
But you got something saying eligible for discovery. So then what did you do? You went to the discovery website, or right? Did they give you a link? What did they give you?
So from there, you had to notify your guidance counselor, and from there they print out a paper. In that paper, it says you have to sign your own name, and then you have to sign the guidance counselor has to sign it off, and then from there they mail it into the DOE.
And Jonathan, thank you so much at 13 years old for putting together this kind of slideshow, and at 14 presenting it. So you don't have access to this paper, basically. You don't have access to this application. The only one who has access is now the middle school guidance counselor at your very large public school, right? So you don't have access. So now did you go in person? Did you email? What did you do? What was the exact step you did after you got that itty bitty little sentence at the bottom of your March offer saying eligible for discovery? Did you email? Did you call? What did you do? Because your parents, again, English is not their first language and they're not comfortable speaking in English. What was your next step?
From there, so next step after getting all of this, I went directly to my guidance counselor during school.
In person?
Yes, in person.
Okay, so you're like 12 years old and you're like, I'm going to walk to my guidance counselor in person and I'm going to fend for myself and I will be my own activist.
Yes.
And I'm going to be my own advocate. So now you're advocating for yourself. So you went in person in your very busy middle school to your guidance counselor and you said, please print a form. Like, what was the conversation exactly?
So exactly, I asked her, hey, I saw my my acceptance letter that I got into Discovery and it's possible for me to apply to Discovery. And she said, okay, let me check. And then from there, she went and printed it out and I signed my name and she signed it. So from there, she could send it to the DOE.
So you signed it, she signs it.
Yes.
And then did your parents have to sign it at that point, or was it just like a you and guidance counselor?
It's my parents also had to sign it. Yes.
So she printed a hard copy of a form.
Yes.
You brought it home. They signed it. Everybody's on board with the signatures.
Yes.
This form is only accessible to the guidance counselor. It's not accessible to you.
Yes.
And then you keep going. All right. I'm doing
Yes.
this painful step by step because I want everyone to understand the process involved. Jonathan Flores, whose parents truly don't speak English and they're not comfortable speaking in English. He went himself, 12 years old, 12 and a half, and he said, I'm going to be my own advocate. And he went in person. He said, please print this form. I want to apply into Discovery. Good. Now you apply into Discovery. So what happens after you, your mom, your dad, or whoever the signatures, I'm assuming one parent, who after you do the signatures, then what happens?
So from there, my guidance counselor mailed it to the DOE, and from there, I say around late April, I got a notification on my schools that I did. Well, actually, no, sorry. My guidance counselor called me in, and she said she got a notification from my schools. So you have to go through the guidance counselor to get the message, and from the guidance counselor, she told me that you can go into the Discovery, and I said yes.
Do you recall this being hard mailed or do you recall this form being emailed?
It was emailed. It was through my schools.
So it was emailed to you. Prior to that, the form that your mom signed and that you signed, that was printed. Was that faxed and emailed or was that hard mailed? What happened to that form?
I'm pretty sure it was hard mailed.
So everyone pay attention, the DOE and their antiquated ways. So you're pretty sure it was hard mailed. I can possibly confirm that it was hard mailed, knowing that I deal with DOE. So they hard mail. After the hard mail, you suddenly get an alert to check My Schools. My
Yes.
Schools now tells you you can participate in Discovery. So you go
Yes.
into My Schools. If you actually, Jonathan, later go through your text message history with your mom, can you please add all of those images to your
Yes, I will.
slideshow? Okay, so let's keep going. And again, everyone, this is our practice round. Okay, with that being said, you are now eligible for Discovery. So what does that mean?
So that means you can now attend the Discovery program. Uh, and then you have to go around, I'd say. So at first for me, they sent me an email inviting me to Camp Sty, which is like I'd say I don't know the exact word, but it's like I say an open house, but specifically for Stuyvesant freshmen, going the up and coming freshmen. So I got an email, and then from there, they told the Discovery students to stay, and they explained how the Discovery program would work.
Okay, so let's go through this. You're invited to Camp Sty, which is exclusively for students accepted to Stuyvesant High School.
Yes.
So basically you're basically accepted to Stuyvesant. You get an invitation before you even started day one of the Discovery program. You
Yes.
have received an invitation to participate in Camp Sty. Camp Sty is, for those of you who don't know, it's an orientation. It's an orientation for kids who
Yeah.
got into Stuyvesant. So you're now invited to the Stuyvesant open house.
Yeah.
You're now, I just want all of you to know, his mother sent me 1,000 text messages about how this is all going to work. So we have quite a long record. But with that being said, you are now at Camp Sty. So you basically, for all intents and purposes, if no one knew, you are now accepted to Stuyvesant without actually
Yes.
it saying you're accepted to Stuyvesant. So you're in Camp Sty. Then they
Yes.
say, hey, if you're in Discovery, please stay after Camp Sty ends today. We want to talk to you. Jonathan, how many kids were there in the Discovery program who stayed back? Approximately how many kids did you see?
I'd have to say around 150 at most.
Everyone pay attention. So these are 150 students, for the most part, English language learners, children who there are four. I wasn't paying full attention, but there are four different ways of Discovery you're eligible for. But
Yes.
again, so there are approximately 150 of you who are not accepted to Stuyvesant on paper. You're accepted to Discovery. So there are
Yes.
150 of you, right?
Yes.
And do you recall about how many there were accepted to Sty?
From what I recall, the majority, there was only like one in my class that in fact did not get in, but that was
Yeah.
because of well they willingly did not want to go into Stuyvesant, and I will get into that later on. But at a certain point, they tell you if you do want to continue with the discovery program, and if you don't, then you can leave. And yes, that's the only everyone who could decided to continue on with the program of fight through the hard summer, they all got into Stuyvesant.
Okay, so now there are about 150 of you. Stuyvesant's incoming class is like 800. Let's say closer to 200 of you. So let's say 200 out of 800. So usually there are about 200 kids in this discovery program out of the 800 accepted, more or less. I'm giving rough numbers. I could produce more exacts, but it would require FOIL, and unfortunately, it would take quite a long time. So this is a bit faster for me to give everyone estimates. But let's say it's about 20% of the seats in total are allocated for discovery. So now you are blending in. You're basically in Stuyvesant, but you have no accepted offer. But you're on the Stuyvesant email list. You're going to everything Stuyvesant, right? I mean, you're basically participating in everything Stuyvesant, right? Because
Yes.
you're getting all the emails for Stuyvesant accepted students, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now you have automatically been added to the email list for accepted students into Stuyvesant.
Yes.
All right, let's keep going. I'm going to stop speaking. Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay. So now this is attending the program. The program, as previously stated, is around a month long from the very beginning of July until around, I say, August. Second week of August was for me. In Stuyvesant, you're required to have an 85 and well, not required, but if you do achieve an 85 or above an 85 in each class, which for me was humanities, math, and science, you get immediate entry into the school. So you don't have to go through. So once the program ends, you're able to immediately enter. There's no waiting time, no waiting period from the when the program ends to when you get the acceptance letter. You immediately get into Stuyvesant. Uh, if not, the faculty and teachers will decide based off of your personality and your work ethic if you are a good fit for the school. In other schools, these are the requirements to get into them, which are on 2 slides after this. So for uh the discovery program at Stuyvesant, they organized us into 9 classes. Uh there's around like 10 to 20 people in each class, and each class has the same schedule. Every student has the same schedule in each class. Each student, for me, I remember I had science, math, and then humanities. And then you get a lunch period, but you can leave as soon as you leave your last class, which is the third period class. Uh, so if you do get an 85 or above, as I said, you once you leave, the last day of camps, at Discovery, I mean, the next day you get an email saying you did get in immediately, and now you are officially class of or freshman at Stuyvesant, I'd say. If not, you get a waiting period between when you leave and I'd say about 2 or 3 weeks. They notify you saying that you did get into Stuyvesant. They say, but for the most part, I feel like everyone who did put up through, I say, the 4 or 5 week program, they all did get in because it was really a test and they pushed you to your limits. I'd say now that I am attending Stuyvesant, discovery was extremely hard compared to how freshman year is. They gave you a lot of homework. It was constant pressure. I felt like I was under, and I feel like the discovery program is a way to see and push you to your limits and see when you would say I want to leave. And
Okay,
for those,
so I want to understand what's the day by day, like what is pushing you to the limits? Like, is it classwork? Is it homework? Is discovery all in person or is any of it remote? I have like a ton of discovery related questions. Like, what's the mechanics of this program?
so the program, everything is in person, and the homework, of course, is uh online. But
Are
I'd
you
say,
allowed to be absent? Like, how does that work? Are
oh,
you,
oh, yes, sorry, I forgot. Absence, they're very strict about absence. Once you're absent more than 3 days, you're immediately kicked out of the program. Unexcused absences. You are immediately kicked out of the program and you do not get into Stuyvesant. And the most grueling part of the whole program was, in fact, the homework. It was really stressful. I'd say it was a period. It was not a period. Sorry, an hour for each subject. And at Stuyvesant, they have this rule where it's only 30 minutes each subject can assign you. And for discovery, I'd say it was at least minimum an hour every day. Maybe math. Yeah, I've always have been my superpower has always been math. So I got to finish that earlier. But subjects like humanities and science I always took longer, and especially humanities for me, at least I took 3 hours doing it a night. Um, the
so is this
class,
like the month of July? Is that what
yes,
it
July.
is?
July.
So basically, in total, is it 5 weeks? Is that what I'm, or
Five
is it
weeks.
six
Yes.
weeks?
Five,
So
five
it's
to six
five
weeks.
weeks. What time is it? From what time to what time?
So 9 to I'd say 1 including lunch, and I'd say 9 to 12 without including lunch.
Okay, so let's say it's like 9 to 1, right? Let's say it's 9 to 1. You get lunch, which I assume they're paying for, right? So it's nine to
Yes.
one with lunch. They give you a Metro card.
They give you a Metro card and they give you your own ID.
Okay, so you have a Stuyvesant ID, basically ahead of everyone else. So you're like a
Yes.
Stuyvesant student. Okay,
However,
then
okay.
wait, however, what?
However, the ID is not like the regular Stuyvesant ID. It just says your name and it says Stuyvesant Summer Discovery.
So it's a clear discovery
Yes.
participation. And you said there were about 150, maybe 200 in total kids who are in this
Yes.
program with you, which is impossible to learn about outside of this Kweller prep webinar because there's so little information on this. So now here we are, you're in the discovery program at this point. And what happens if you come at like 9:15? What happens if you come 9:30? What if you're late to this program?
If you are late, you also get 3 strikes, and once on your third strike, you get kicked out.
So you're only allowed to be late if you have bus, subway issues. You're
Yes,
only
issues
allowed to
like
be
that.
late 3 times in the five
Yes,
week period. And you're only
yes.
allowed to be absent
2 or 3 days.
in total.
Yes. 3 excused. I'm pretty sure it was 1 or 2 unexcused.
You can only have 1 or 2 unexcused absences.
Yes.
So there it's like the Townsend Harris High School screening. It's this like absence, like
Yes.
strictness, stringency. All right. So here we are. So now you go to this, you have to be there 9 a.m. What time did you show up?
I always showed up 10 or 20 minutes later. I always measured. I made sure I got the early train. Even if I got there, let's say 30 or an hour even early, I always wanted to be early.
100%. I'd be there at 8:30 having a heart attack thinking I'm going to
Yeah.
be late. So realistically you were there 8:30 every morning
Yes.
and you went all the way downtown to Stuyvesant.
Yes.
Discovery, I just want to confirm, is 100% an in-person program, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Discovery
Look, I'm
is in
shopping.
person and Discovery
Oh,
does not offer. Sorry, guys. Let me just, Jonathan, help me mute whoever that was. Sorry, guys. Wing. Okay, muted. So
Okay.
Discovery is a 100% in-person program, correct?
Yes.
And do you have any option to do Zoom or does everyone
No.
have to come
Everyone
in
has to,
person?
yes, everyone has to go in person.
Okay, so there are approximately, let's say, 200 kids. Are all of these kids on Discovery to Stuyvesant physically at Stuyvesant? Is that correct?
Yes, everyone went in person. There's no option for online school. Everyone had to go in person.
Is anyone in your cohort going to Discovery Brooklyn Tech or Discovery Bronx Science? Do you have
No,
anyone in your group going somewhere else?
no, everyone went to Stuyvesant and only Stuyvesant. And I forgot to add that you can only get into one discovery program. You can't get into multiple discovery
Are
programs.
you aware of any other schools that participate in Discovery?
If I'm not wrong, all 8 specialized high schools will participate in discovery.
20% of the seat allocations. I
Yes.
believe, are for the Discovery students. So now you are in this program, you're there 8:30 a.m. and it ends at 1 o'clock, right?
Yes.
And this is for about 5 weeks over the summer. You must attend. If you don't attend, you definitely cannot go to Stuyvesant High School.
Yes.
Okay. By the way, parents, you can type questions into the chat as well. So this is a lot of information. Now you're in this program, and what exactly happens? Are they teaching you algebra? Are they teaching you geometry? Are these actual Stuyvesant teachers? Who are these teachers? What are they doing in the program? Like, we just want to know everything. And thank you again
Yeah,
for doing this. We
of
just
course.
want to, what happens in this program?
So math is review of algebra 1, and I'd say a little more advanced than that. Like I'd say like it's above algebra, but it's not exactly geometry level yet. I guess I'd say, to put that in comparison. I guess it's more advanced algebra 1, and science is biology, and humanities is normal, I'd say global. For me, at least, the teachers were extremely qualified. My science teacher is an AP biology teacher. My humanities teacher is a UP US history teacher, and my math teacher is a normal geometry teacher.
So are these regular Stuyvesant teachers, or are
Yes.
these only, so basically you are at Stuyvesant working physically in the school, you have an ID, you have access to the school, the library, the facilities, right? So
Yes.
you're more or less getting full student access as part of the Discovery program. And these teachers are now basically giving you a preview of what you're getting yourself into. And they're making sure that you
Yes.
know the math, the reading, and then they're giving you homework,
Yes.
right? And what happens if you don't do the homework?
Your grade will plummet a lot, since there is homework every day, except it counts a lot for your grade. There is exactly, I for math at least, I think there was 3 tests in total for each subject, 2 tests during the program, and there, of course, there is a final test that counts. I don't think it counts exactly for a percentage of your grade, but it is the last final test that sums up everything they have learned, of course, of the course of the
This
Discovery
is
program.
very high stress. So, how many exams do you have across 5 weeks in Discovery?
In total, each subject 3, in total 9.
You have 9 exams in 5 weeks over the
Yes.
summer. And
Yes.
you need what? What's the score that you need to continue in this program?
You are required to have an 85 in each class to get immediate entry, but if you do get less, the teachers decide if your personality and work ethic fits for Stuyvesant. But however, if you do fail any of the classes, you do not get in.
Uh-huh. So again, what are the subjects that you're in for Discovery with?
Humanities, math, and science, specifically global studies, ninth grade, algebra 1, I'd say honors, and biology.
Wow. Okay. When you were in 8th grade, did you take the algebra regions?
I took the algebra 1 regions and living environment regions.
Good. I'm very happy. I'm also proud to tell everyone this is a long-time Kweller prep student. So he was on track for quite a long time and positioned to take regions in 8th grade. So so basically, I mean, thanks to these regions classes you took in 8th grade, you knew the material. I'm sad some kids probably did not take regions in 8th grade and they were not familiar with this material. You needed an 85 or higher in all of the subjects, and you had 9 exams across 5 weeks. Is that a correct recap?
Yes.
All right.
I'd
Now we're
also
moving forward. Yes.
I'd also like to add that even though I did take the Regents, it was still very difficult. Math, it was exactly, I'd say, algebra 1 level Regents. However, science, biology, at Stuyvesant, how they make everyone, even if you do pass the Regents, they make everyone take biology, because at Stuyvesant every class is extremely high level compared to the Regents. They prepare students not for the Regents, but way above the Regents. They don't worry about the regents at all at Stuyvesant. They expect everyone to ace the regents because how high of a standard they do teach you even at Discovery. So although I did get above a 90 on the living environment regents, it still was way above the Discovery program. Biology was way above the level of the living environment regents.
Did you expect Discovery to be this hard of a program?
Honestly, once the first day I thought it was a piece of cake, and then the next week I did not. I really was stressed out, not only because of the pressure of what if I don't get in, but also of how hard of a it was. I feel like it was definitely a reality check. Because I was so used to I did put in effort during middle school, but I was not pushed up to my limits like I was at Discovery.
Do you recall, like, for example, the student demographic, how many boys, how many girls, how many, I mean, do you roughly remember how many kids in total were in your class, cohort? I just want a rough idea of numbers. Were you in a class
So
with 30 kids?
10 or 20 kids. I'd say my class was around 18 students. The demographic was around, I'd say half male, half female. And yeah, uh
So from this, anything else? And you were in regular Stuyvesant classes the whole time.
yes,
How was lunch? Were you in the cafeteria? Was it like a box lunch?
it was at the cafeteria.
So you got, which is gorgeous. You got to be in the Stuyvesant cafeteria. Did
Yes.
you, and when did they actually give you the Metro card? Was it the first day of class or did you
The
get it
first day of
before?
class. First day
So
of
you
class.
had to get there yourself and then they gave you a Metro card.
Yes.
Interesting. So now you're in the program. Did you say you also had a friend who got into this program?
Coming into the program, I did not have any friends.
So you were just alone
Yeah, I was alone.
from Flushing, Queens coming into this program. Okay,
Yes.
so now you're in the program. All right, so keep going where everyone's listening.
Okay. So here are the 2023 SHSAT cutoff scores. Brooklyn, and not cutoff scores, but the offers that are given to sorted by race. Brooklyn Tech, of course, having the highest with 1,420. Uh, High School for Mathematics, Science, and Engineering at City College, 174. High School of American Studies at Lehman College, 115. Queens High School for Science at your college, 116. Staten Island Technical High School at 287 offers. Stuyvesant High School at 760. Brooklyn High School of Science, 731. Uh, and Brooklyn Latin School, 388.
So everyone, if you zoom in on this, these are SHSAT offers by ethnicity and school, discovery invitations by ethnicity. So if you take a look, you'll see how many students received an offer for the discovery program. And roughly you'll see just what the student body is in terms of the discovery invitations. I'm zooming in on this. Thank you. This is super helpful. Jonathan, everyone, Jonathan's 13 years old putting this together, and at 14, we're holding the webinar. I'm very proud of you, Jonathan. All right. I think if the parents have any questions, let's keep going. Okay.
Okay. These are the cutoff scores for fall of 2024. Stuyvesant High School cutoff score was 561. High School for Mathematics, Science, and Engineering at City College, 542. The Bronx High School of Science, 526. High School of American Studies at Lehman College, 514. Brooklyn Technical High School, 507. Brooklyn Latin School, 492. Queens High School for the Science at your college, 524, and Staten Island Technical High School at 519.
When you, question, when you were taking the SHSAT, did you ever
Yes.
check a box? Did you ever say, I'm applying into Discovery or I want it? Like, I mean, did you even know what it was?
No,
Like,
I did not
no,
know of
at
Discovery
all.
until you brought it to my attention.
Correct.
Yes.
I brought it, well, I brought it truthfully to your mom because you and I
Yes.
did not connect direct or communicate directly back then. I don't think you had a cell phone a year ago, but either way, you and I were not communicating. So I was communicating with your mother, who was
Yes.
like, what is this? So you didn't know about Discovery at all. So when you took the SHSAT, you did not know anything about Discovery.
No, not at all.
You just put Stuyvesant as first choice.
Yes, when you take the test, they gave you a piece of paper, and from there you take, oh no, sorry, I lied. Uh,
No, you
you,
list the
oh
schools.
yeah, yes, you list the schools, but it was on your application too.
So
Like,
you list the school, your application. I remember this. I remember this
yeah,
very clearly telling you to make Stuyvesant first choice.
yes,
Aren't you glad? I remember this
yes,
very stern conversation. Um, and I said, you're going to make Sty first choice. So now you made Sty first choice. Is that the reason why you got Sty Discovery?
yes. Anything else I would have gotten into, for example, if I put Brooklyn Tech as my first choice, I would have gotten to Brooklyn Tech Summer Discovery.
So, as far as you're aware, Discovery, the kids who put Brooklyn Tech first choice,
Got
they go to
into,
Brooklyn Tech
yes,
Discovery. The kid, as far as you understand, that's my understanding also. The kids who put Stuyvesant first choice, is that what I'm understanding correctly? Anyone who put
yes,
Stuyvesant as choice one did not meet the cutoff, but is an English language learner, qualifies for food assistance, free lunch. Again, you'll go through the criteria again, but anyone who has those criteria is now eligible, part of the 20% cohort discovery.
yes.
So, correct. So now, all right, so let's keep going. Let's move ahead.
Okay. So now this is about me. I should have introduced myself earlier, but
Oh,
I'm a freshman at Stuyvesant High School. I graduated from a middle school IS 250 Robert F. Kennedy in Flushing, Queens with a 99% average. My parents are from El Salvador, and I'm the first person in my family to go to Stuyvesant High School or
oh.
any specialized high school in general. I started off at Kweller Prep when I was in the third grade, attending ELA and math tutoring. Since then, Kweller has helped me to prosper and go to Stuyvesant High School, guiding me through the way, and of course, letting me, uh, uh, warning me, well, no, telling me about the Discovery program.
I'm very honored that you're doing this. I'm very grateful that I did get to play a role in this and the tutors at Queller. You really made the community proud. And not only the community, but the community you don't even know, because Jonathan, where you were featured in the Stuyvesant alumni newsletter, you should add that in. You have really gone very far. And you're in the alumni newsletter. Tens of thousands of people are reading your story. You
Yes,
participated in Sty Prep, which is very impressive as well. I'm very grateful for my role in this. I'm grateful that Queller Prep did play a role in this, and I'm happy that we are able to share so much knowledge about this program. So, if you had to super summarize what the Discovery program is, can you give everyone like a super summary?
okay. So this Discovery program is a program during the summer around a month starting from early July to mid through early to mid August, and you get in with getting below the cutoff score, yet you still are qualified with one of the criteria. Let me show the criteria again. Um right here. The criteria, either you are receives assistance from the Human Resource Administration, welfare or SNAP. Your child is in a foster care or ward of the state, or is a student in temporary housing. Your child is an English language learner or a former English language learner within the previous 2 school years and are enrolled into a DSU school for the first time within the last 4 years, or your family earns less than the reduced price lunch income threshold and the USDA Food and Nutrition Service income eligibility guidelines. So from there, you From there you get the acceptance letter with your high school acceptance letter, like your general high school acceptance letter is not separate, it's all the same. And at the very end, I'd say you get what's called the summer discovery program application. And from there, you go to your guidance counselor, your middle school's guidance counselor. I went in person by myself. I told my guidance counselor, notified her about the application. She printed it out. She I had to bring it, sign it, bring it home. My parents signed it, and then from there, she signed it, and she sent it off through hard mail to the DOE. From there, you have to attend the program in person. There's no option for in remote. Everyone has to go in person. There is around, I say, 150 to 200 students in Discovery in general, and the classrooms are relatively small, and classes are relatively small. There is, I'd say, 10 to 20 people, and there is 9 classes that they divide each student in. You have to get into Stuyvesant High School without the faculty deciding for you, you have to get an 85 in each class, not average in each class to get immediate entry into the school. If you do not get an 85 in each class yet, you attend every single day, and you are not failing any class. The teachers and faculty based off your personality and work ethic, they decide if you're a good fit for the school.
So go ahead. We're everyone's listening.
As I was saying, you get 3 excused absences and 2 or 1, I don't remember exactly, unexcused absences. If you get 3 excused absences, if you're absent any more than that, you are immediately kicked out of the school. As previously said, if you do not attend, if you do fail a class, you do not get into the discovery program at Stuyvesant High School. And you get 1 or 2 unexcused absences. If you get two or more unexcused absences, you do not get into discovery. You are kicked off.
So basically, so this was extremely stressful. Everyone, let's give Jonathan a big thank you. He's a recent 14 and he is at 13 because we had talked about this for a long time. So let's give Jonathan a huge thank you. I'm very impressed. So you went through a very, very stressful summer into this type of environment. This was an extremely informative webinar. This is one of the only webinars that talks about the Discovery Program. There's really truly nothing on it. So you've actually done a public service for a lot of people right now. Jonathan, how did you keep track of all of this? Your parents don't speak English. I mean, I'm with permission sharing. They have elementary school educations. Your parents are not computer savvy at all. How did you keep track of all of this data? How are you organized with all of this paperwork and DOE forms? How did you do this?
So for me, since I grew up, of course, with my parents not speaking fluent English, or and them getting a very elementary school, as you said, education, I had to be very independent since I was a little kid. I always learned to keep managing my own things. And with Discovery, it was really a learning experience with my parents too at the same time. I had to learn step by step. Uh, Everything that I know now, I learned throughout the Discovery program. I did not go in and knowing any of this information. I had to learn through make my friends at the Discovery program telling me, or or the teachers telling us how it was going to work. It was really a step by step learning experience for me. Uh, of course, as I would also like to thank my parents for raising me to be independent and keeping track of my own things. Because if without them, I don't think I would have been able to have gone through the Discovery program because it was really a stressful environment to be in. It was really the pressure with not what if I don't get into the high school, or the pressure with the homework, how to manage time with my friends, my loved ones especially, and school, it was really stressful and it definitely was a reality check for me.
I'm very impressed that you went through such a rigorous program over the summer. I'm very proud of you, knowing you for many years, and I'm very proud of your family for the emotional support. I'm very grateful that, I've been given a chance. I believe it's divine intervention. I am a very spiritual person. I do believe this was amazing, that you've come into my life and that you came into Kweller Prep and that you are someone who's now giving back. So I'm very grateful that you're not only someone who got into discovery, which is truly life changing, but you're someone who's explaining step by step how this program works, what it entails. I mean, there are going to be kids listening to this video saying, wow, like Jonathan Flores, you took time out of your very, very busy schedule and you explained to me step by step what I'm getting myself into. I am positive you did not have anyone giving you guidance. I
No,
mean,
I
did
did not.
anyone guide you? No. Did anyone give you a 1 hour webinar on what to expect?
No.
No. Very
Uh,
impressive.
okay.
Very impressive. So this program again is very heavily connected to I'm just so impressed. Wow, this is a lot of information. Oh my gosh, there's someone listening who is a principal in England. We do Cambridge exam testing at Kweller. I just want to put that out there. I'm very impressed, Jonathan. This is a very impressive webinar understanding how the discovery program and the
Yes.
rigor of you going through this military type of environment where you could not really be absent or sick or have
Yeah.
COVID. You had to go
Yeah.
in person. How are you traveling? You were taking the subway alone, or
Yes.
how are you? I mean, you're only 13, you're 12 and a half, 13 years old. So you went from Flushing, Queens by subway every
Yes.
day for 5 weeks by yourself?
It was not every day because they gave us weekends and I'm pretty sure Friday off. So yes, I
So
forgot to mention.
but you were like a little kid. You're traveling by subway,
Yes.
and you did this by yourself for 5 weeks?
Yes.
I'm just extremely impressed. And there were people traveling from the Bronx, Brooklyn, Staten Island. I
Yes.
mean, they're
All
close.
over.
So there were kids from all five boroughs on a Metro card going to 345 Chambers Street Discovery Program.
Yes.
I'm so impressed. Wow. Okay, so as far as I understand, you kept track of your own emails, you kept track of your mom's emails, you went into my schools. Do you remember when you actually got the acceptance offer that you're able to be part of Stuyvesant High School?
I don't remember exactly when, but I remember it was around same time as general acceptance into high schools come out, like the same exact letter. I'm pretty sure it was around same time last March. I'd say it was March around this time March because I'm pretty sure it came later than this year. Came around this time, I'd say around uh definitely like March like 13th, I'd say.
I just want to say I am super impressed that you traveled for 5 weeks daily, did homework and assignments and work ethic. I also want to add, Jonathan is the only student from his entire high school accepted into Stuyvesant High School. His middle school is actually, I believe, the poorest district. That was the first thing the school counselor told me, is that you are in the poorest school district. I mean, you really went from I mean, you just have endless opportunities right now. I can't begin to tell you how impressive it is. I didn't know that Discovery assigned this much homework or this type of volume. I also didn't know there was an 85 average mastery, requirement in every
Yes.
subject. Wow, wow, wow. So someone is asking, how is your freshman year at Stuyvesant so far now that you went through oh my God, this Discovery military program that you were in? How was that?
Freshman year has honestly been a way more relief because at Discovery, they prepare you. I'd say definitely like the military. They over prepare you, they
Yeah, this
stress
is
you,
military.
and they make you worry that what if Stuyvesant is really this hard every single day? it really made me worry that if I would be able to put up with the stress of Stuyvesant, and I feel like it's definitely a big mental game with your own self and your work ethic and determination to get into the school. And it really is a mind game that they do play with you. It's freshman year has been a relief because I thought I would be stressed out. It's 24/7. When do not get me wrong, it is very stressful at Stuyvesant, but they do not push you to the limits that Discovery does. And Stuyvesant now does not give 4 to 6 hours homework a day, at least for me, but I know students who get 2 hours a day. It is definitely stressful, but at Stuyvesant, due to the very high stress environment that we do go to school in, they've implemented a rule where they can only put each teacher can only put 30 minutes worth of homework in each subject.
So
So
we can talk about Stuyvesant, like we can do a whole separate hour on Stuyvesant. If the parents are able to, this is Jonathan's first webinar. So if you could leave a review, just saying that Jonathan had a great webinar. Jonathan, this is super cool. So you were featured in the alumni newsletter. I know some of you parents might be surprised, but I did play a role in that, as many of you can predict. I'm very happy to give you the publicity that you deserve leading this webinar, and I'm very proud of your hard work. I didn't know that you were in such a tough program this summer. Wow, this thing sounds hard. So you were there 8:30 a.m. for 5 weeks, 5 weeks straight, and you just had stress for the whole summer, really
yes,
hoping that you would get in. I'm really proud of you. Parents, before we close up, does anyone have any questions? Let's actually take everyone off mute. Everyone, let's take you guys off mute. Let's go give Jonathan a big congratulations. Okay, let's go. I'm going to take everyone off mute. Okay, I'm going to count to three. Give Jonathan a big congratulations. We are so proud of you. 1, 2, 3. Bravo, Jonathan. Bravo. Say bravo, Michelle. Bravo. Bravo.
thank you,
Bravo,
Wow,
Jonathan.
Jonathan. We are really proud of you, Jonathan.
thank
Wow,
you.
are we proud of you? Oh my gosh. You are going to do big things with your life, and this is a big deal. And your parents should be so proud of you. Your parents with elementary school educations, do you believe you're a Stuyvesant freshman? Look at
Yes,
this. Look at that. I'm so honored to know you. It's you. Look at all this work you did. Look at who you are. And now you're passing the torch. We're so proud of you. Amazing.
thank you.
You really, really taught us a lot. This was a very good hour. We learned a lot. This was a great program. Everyone listening, we're going to email you the slides. We're going to email you the recording so that you could replay it. Um, we can actually have a whole separate hour on what freshman year at Stuyvesant is like, but this
Yes,
webinar is just talking about the discovery program, not the mechanics of freshman year at Sty. But we're really impressed, Jonathan. Wow, was this informative? I learned a lot, and good luck. Um, does anyone have any other questions, or I think we're good? Very impressive. And if anyone's able to, I put in the chat so that you could review. If you could include that he did a great job, because I'll definitely share that as well. Very impressive, Jonathan. Wow, impressive.
thank you.
Congratulations to your parents for being supportive. That you're the first one I've ever interviewed on Discovery, so I'm super excited. I learned a lot myself. Everyone, have a good night. And you can email us if you have any questions, and we're very honored to share with you. I'm going to just close up by saying, so Jonathan, he actually went to Kweller Prep. He did not do Dream, but Dream is, a great program as well. He went to Kweller, and then he went through into something called
Yes,
Sty Prep, which we can talk about separately, but he participated in a different program. But I do want to say Dream is a good program, and it does have a good reputation as well. And some people go to Dream and then they go to Kweller at night. Dream is a free program with the city, and then Kweller, it's an option. But just remember, these are options that are open to everyone. Wow, Jonathan, super informative. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you, to your family. So what are you going to do with your life now that you're going to be a Stuyvesant graduate? What's your next
Honestly,
PhD, physicist? What are you going to do with your life now?
honestly, I'm thinking about going into finance and becoming a business major.
He wants to be a millionaire. It's everybody wants to be me. No, I'm kidding. But okay, so your plan, you want to go into maybe entrepreneurship. Is
Yes.
that your plan?
Yes.
Good. Well, that would be very cool. Okay, just don't open a tutoring center. All right. I'm very
Yeah,
proud
I
of you,
will.
Jonathan. Okay,
Yeah.
good job. Good job. All right. Take care,
Thank you.
everyone. Have a good evening. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.